Hello YouTubers and welcome to yet another episode of the Jesse Hills Random Survival Tips on the Ruffleberry Pancake channel. Today we're going to be doing an episode over airsoft guns. Now, a lot of people would say, Jesse, what could you use an airsoft gun for? And that's what I'm here to help you with. Now, airsoft guns come in a ton of variety. Different style weapons, AEGs, long rifles, sniper rifles, gas-powered guns, spring-powered guns, and some other forms of propellant. That being said, what could you use one for? Well, I'm going to use my little WeTech Browning, as I've shown in some of my other airsoft videos, to show you what you could possibly do with this. That being said, the first thing is, in survival, or maybe even home defense, is learning how to use a firearm in a safe, non-threatening environment. Airsoft is a good way to prepare yourself for home defense or a bad situation, whether you're in military or not in the military, or in the police force or some sort of civilian force. This is a good training, safe training, and effective tool for getting yourself ready for that sort of situation. Now, let's say a robber breaks into your house and you have a real gun. Now, a lot of people would say go to a safety course or something like that, but that can only get you so far. But when playing airsoft, it can teach you how to use your firearm if you have the exact same one. This is a Browning model, but it'll teach you how to use the gun effectively, or how you're comfortable, such as checking corners, or how you feel comfortable. If you've ever played airsoft, you'll understand what I mean. And if you don't, I recommend you play the game. It does teach you a little bit about fire safety, and when you're turning corners and you're about to shoot your partner, it teaches you trigger safety, keeping your finger away from the trigger. That being said, that is a good way of protecting yourself. So let's say someone breaks into your house. Well, using what you know from airsoft, you can honestly now pick up a real gun, provided, like I said, this game is just for simulation, combat simulation, but it'll give you a general mindset of what to do. Some guy turns the corner, you raise your gun, and just before you're able to figure out who the target is, you take them out or you keep away from shooting them. That being said, again, airsoft is not foolproof. It's just a good way to get acquainted with some sort of firearm in a safe, controlled environment, provided you wear proper protection. That being said, it is not like firing a real firearm. Firing real firearms can be very dangerous if you do not know what you're doing. So I recommend safety, safety, safety. But moving on, what could you do with this gun in a survival situation? Now, let's say you're on an airsoft trip and you get lost in the woods. It's getting dark and you're super hungry from playing all day, but you didn't bring any Cliff Bars or any food with you, and you're running low on water. What the heck do you do? Well, let's say you see a squirrel up and you just so happen to be carrying enough gas for this model and some heavy pellets. You take your magazine and you load it up, you place it in a gun, you prime it, and you see that squirrel. This is not going to kill the squirrel most likely, but I have seen, unfortunately, some people mistreat animals with an airsoft gun. I did call the police and the guns were taken away, but you can kill a squirrel with this or a small prey. That being said, I am Native American and I do promote hunting, but providing that you respect the animal and you dispatch them quickly. If you do not kill the animal, use a secondary tool like a weapon or a rock or something to put it out of its misery, because this might not do the job, but you'll be able to knock it out of the tree and stun it long enough to be able to get to it to feed yourself. So that's one thing. Also, you can take the slide off and use the pot metal for arrow tips. The plastic or the wood can also be used as makeshift arrow tips by shattering it, but the gun can also be used as a hammer, provided that you have something to hammer. Let's say you have to chop some wood, you take your knife and you hammer it with this. That being said, it's not foolproof. Again, these can break. This one's made of metal, so it's a little more reliable, but again, you can use it. Also, you can take the slide release off, and provided you get special tools like sticks, and maybe if we have rubber gloves or something like that, or some latex material to provide to make a catapult with a trigger action. Now, that would be interesting because you have the trigger action here, and you have all the tools. You just take off this slide, maybe add some sticks, and make yourself a little handheld crossbow that's a little more effective in hunting small prey. Again, you probably won't be able to take out a deer with that, but you'd have a trigger action catapult of some sort. So there's that as well. So let's move on to the magazine. The magazine, you think, oh, it's completely useless, but again, this is a striking tool, or you could throw it at something long enough to knock it out if you need to defend yourself. Again, these are not effective hunting or killing tools, so again, last-ditch effort. But it also has springs inside of it that you could take apart and use for some kind of snare or trap to capture an animal or something like that. You could also fill this with gas and effectively use a blowtorch to start a fire by pressing down on this button and causing the fire to flare up. Again, I don't recommend that either because there might be a risk of the fire coming back into it and causing it to explode in your hand, which could essentially turn this into a handheld gas bomb. So again, I don't recommend that. But if you absolutely have to, or you know what you're doing, it's possible, but again, I don't recommend it. And the pellets. What did you do with pellets? Well, fish is like when I was living near a farm, my buddy would throw dog food and pellets out in the water and the fish would become attracted to it. It's a good way to stir up fish. If you have some line or string and hook, you could actually use this to stir up fish because they believe that it's some sort of bug or something like that and they'll come up and eat it if they have that in their instinct. That being said, it's not foolproof, but it can work. You can stir them up towards feeding time and they can come over and it'll be easier for you to catch a fish. That being said, there are probably a billion uses for a metal piece of tool like this, or even a plastic one, making spear tips and that being, all that kind of stuff. That being said, I can't possibly tell you everything, every use for this, but I can give you a general idea. Guys, if there's something that I didn't list, please feel free to list it on the comment section below to help out your fellow survivalists. You guys, thank you very much for stopping by.